Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Hearthstone Power, a YouTube channel dedicated to the discussion and analysis of Blizzard's new digital card strategy game, Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft. In this first video, I will briefly go over the point of this YouTube channel and what you can expect from it. Following that, I will be providing commentary for the gameplay footage that was released at PAX. In all honesty, this is the only real dual footage we have right now, so until we have access to more, this is a good place to start. Once the game goes into beta, and is eventually released, this channel will be overflowing with great content. The goal of this channel is to provide fans of this game a place to get commentary on games, develop strategies, and overall strengthen our love for this game. This is a simple yet deeply strategic card game that Blizzard is developing, and even if you have never played a collectible card game before, it is designed to be quick to pick up and play. Hearthstone was announced less than 2 weeks ago at the time this video was recorded. The game is currently under development, and Blizzard intends to start the beta this summer. Soon, as in Blizzard soon. But seriously, we want to get this. We want this game to come out ASAP. However, we also want it to be polished. It is this fine line that Blizzard constantly walks, and if you have patience, it always pays off. Anyway, enough of the introduction. Let's check out the gameplay so we can dig right in. Here we go.
Gul'dan versus Malfurion.
I must protect the one. Your soul shall be mine.
So since this is the first time we're kind of running through the game here, I'm going to pause it here and there to explain some of the concepts behind the game. If you've never played a TCG before, some of this might be a little weird, but I'll make occasional references to Magic the Gathering just because it's the most popular TCG and pretty much has set the groundwork for almost every collectible card game to follow. In Magic the Gathering, you have a deck of 60 cards. Usually about half of them are cards that are not actually castable. There are cards called land, which provide you mana, which gives you the resources to cast your cards. In Hearthstone, you are only limited to a 30-card deck, and you actually don't have the land or the mana cards, which is really great about this game because you get one resource added per turn, and I think it caps at 10. So you pretty much just get one every turn. You don't have to get lucky with draws or unlucky or anything like that. So what you're seeing here is the starting hand, and it looks like from this you can dump one card to replace it with another card. Now I'm not sure if this will probably change throughout the beta, whether you can draw new cards or more than one, but looks like here you can just replace one. So that's what you see happening here. So the game has begun, and there's no chat in this game. You have to, well, no chat yet. You can only use little emotes, like you see popping up there, keeping it clean. So the druid up there went first, so you can see that he's 1 of 1 on his resources. Well, now he's 2 of 2. That footman that the warlock just cast cost 1 resource, so you can see at the bottom he's 0 of 1. So he uses resource to play that card. And looks like you just hit that little end turn button and it ends the turn. If you look there on the left side, you notice that it's keeping like a count or tally of the cards that have been played over the course of the game, which is really great if you need to see the last couple of moves that have happened. It's a really nice feature. It really comes in handy because you're playing a digital game. So anyways, getting back into the game, you have this footman on the field. It's got 1 attack and 2 defense. That means it does 1 damage, and it dies if it takes 2 damage. Now, so far, all the creatures, this is how they all work. Now, I'm sure there are some with special abilities. See, there you go, right there. There's a ghoul, 2/3, 2 power, 3 toughness. I'm not sure what they're calling it yet in the game. Probably attack and defense, or attack and health, whatever they're going to call it. So some of the creatures have abilities that get activated when they come into play, or when they leave play, or while they're in play. So the only thing I've noticed so far about this this footage is you can hover over the card and you can see kind of the text of the card, but especially at this point in the game when it's new, you're going to be spending a lot of time reading the cards just to make sure you know what they do, and they're moving pretty quick here. So I'll do the same. This is a great place to pause the video, because up until this point, most of the cards we've seen have been creature cards. You spend resources and you put your creature, your monster, into play, and it stays there. Now you see here the Druid has cast an ability card. This one costs 4 resources. It's called Swipe. And if you read the text there, it says it deals 3 damage to an enemy and 1 damage to all the other enemies. And I believe if you keep watching, he targets the ghoul there in the middle. So you'll notice once that card disappears, you'll see that the ghoul takes 3 damage, which is sufficient to kill it, and does 1 damage to everything else. So 1 damage to the other 2 creatures on his side of the battlefield, and to his hero itself. And there you go. Damage is permanent on these creatures, by the way, so you notice they have a health indicator there, you can still see on there. And also it's important to mention that the heroes themselves can do an attack. I believe I think they have 1 attack baseline that can be enhanced, but I'm not really sure on that. You can see that the Warlock right now is hovering over his hand just to see what he's got. And he also just drew Lord Jaraxxus, which costs 9 resources. I'm guessing because it's such a large resource card that it's probably very powerful. You can just guess that just based on the cost of that card. So if you can get to your 9th turn, cast that card. What's great about the heroes so far that I've seen is they've got unique class-specific abilities. So if you notice the Druid up there has the bear next to his picture. He can shapeshift. I'm sure they'll have different shapeshifting cards. Right now he's just the bear. The Warlock down there has, I think it's either some kind of Drain Life, or I can't remember what he cast. No, there's Drain Life. Life tap. There it is. Really like the animations that you see here with the water wheel and the. If you've played Mr. Pandaria, you can really appreciate this landscape here. It's definitely a more exciting landscape than a dining room table in your basement. Yeah, that makes sense. Dining room table in your basement. A dining room table in your dining room, which is a playmat. This has got some really cool animations, which I'm sure they'll have different backgrounds as you play. I'm going to start talking about a little bit about the creature's abilities. There's a few abilities in the game that add complexity to the creatures when they come into play or when they leave play or anything like that, and take some time to explain some of those as they appear. If you pay attention to the Druid's portrait up there, you can see that he has an armor with a value of 1 above his health, which reads 25 health and 1 armor. That armor will allow him to reduce the damage of the next damage that he takes. So right now the Warlock's going to cast something. Yeah, there you go. Hellfire deals 3 damage to everything. So you notice he goes down to 23. He only took 2 damage to his health, and that 1 armor absorbed that spell. The creature that the Warlock just cast had an ability called Battle Cry. Battle Cry is the creature ability that triggers something when it comes into play. In that case, the ability was Battle Cry, draw 1 card. So when the creature was summoned, the Battle Cry ability was activated, and the effect of drawing a card occurred. The Druid just cast Shapeshift, +1 attack this turn, +1 armor. I'm going to correct a previous statement I said that the heroes have base attack. Looks like some of them might be temporary or permanent, but they don't really have any attack. The Shapeshift ability gave him 1 attack for that turn, and at the end of the turn he loses the attack. I'm sure some heroes are going to have weapons, buffs, some of them might be temporary or permanent. The cards will vary. I'm sure we'll find. If you've been wondering why this entire time the creatures are not attacking their first turn, it's because they have, well, in Magic the Gathering it's called Summoning Sickness. In this game it's called they're sleeping. See the little Z's? The same turn a creature is summoned, it is sleeping, and it cannot attack until your next turn. And some creatures do have the ability called, I think it's Charge, that will allow them to attack the same turn they are summoned. That's synonymous with the haste ability from Magic the Gathering. I don't think I need to explain the choose one effect. You have a few choices on the card, and you choose one. I know it's rocket science, but I'm trying to cover all the bases here, because I know there might be some people who are new to card games.
Your soul shall suffer.
I do want to say that this is my favorite part of this duel. I mean, Lord Jaraxxus is the man. If you raided in the Wrath of the Lich King, you remember Lord Jaraxxus. This card literally kills your hero, and Lord Jaraxxus replaces him. So if you notice, your hero had 1 health, and 1 more attack and he was done. Lord Jaraxxus comes in, and now he's got 15 health. Wicked, wicked cool card. Definitely worth the 9 resources, and that's probably why it's so expensive. Speaking again about the resources, notice the Druid is at 10 of 10 right now. That is the maximum number of resources that you can have. So once you get to turn 10, that's it. You now have a maximum capacity of 10 mana per turn. Sorry, I keep calling it resources. Mana. Yeah, 10 mana. And that's a limiting factor in terms of how many spells you can cast each turn. But, I mean, you're still only drawing 1 card per turn, so you're pretty much going to be able to cast anything in your hand. But you're limited to your combination of how many cards you can cast in a turn. You can't go past 10. Doesn't mean there aren't going to be cards that say you can get more resources than 10. I'm sure there will be. That's the great thing about card games, is the cards break the rules constantly, and that's pretty much essential in any collectible card game. Notice the ghoul's powered up right now. It's because as minions have died, he's gained more attack. That's probably why he's shiny and sparkly. And Healing Touch, that's what's really cool to me about this game, is that the decks are just so unique right now. I mean, you have a Druid, and he's healing. So, that's tough to cut through. I mean, is it 8 damage he healed? That's a lot. But yeah, and I failed to mention Ragnaros hit the field. Another epic moment. I mean, you're gonna love these epic cards. I mean, I know there's different card rarities in the game. Really quick, wanted to mention. Notice the Jaraxxus just cast the Inferno card. Heroes have abilities. You can cast them for, I believe it's 2 mana. I don't know if there's a cooldown, or if you can, like, I would imagine you can't summon another Inferno until that Inferno dies. But maybe it's once per turn, I'm not sure. But every hero has an ability, I believe. And I think the Druid's shapeshift, excuse me. Getting back to the card rarities really quick. There are 5, right now there are 5 different rarities in the game. You have Basic, Common, Rare, Epic, and Legendary. If you've played World of Warcraft, you know exactly where these names came from. And this is more important when it comes to deck building and when it comes to the drafting system in the game, which we'll get into at a later date. Looks like the Druid he's almost dead. He's at 6 health right now. And if anyone can help me out why this Druid just kills himself right here, I'd be appreciative to know. Because he attacks the ghoul, and the ghoul does 11 damage to him, which kills him. And I know this was the PAX video, maybe they ran out of time, and they just wanted to get the game ending, but maybe there's something, maybe he was just throwing in the towel, who knows. Well, I want to thank you all for joining me. I'm really excited to get this going, because I'm very passionate about collectible card games, and I'm very, very excited for Hearthstone. I'm a big Blizzard fan, big Warcraft fan, big card game fan, and playing a digital game where you can build decks and duel people on Battle.net to talk to your friends and integrate it to World of Warcraft, which you know they'll do. It's just very, very exciting to me. And the content is going to be a little slow while there's no gameplay footage. There's not really much for me to cover. So I'll try to do my best to maybe explain some rules, or if you guys may want to put some questions in the comments about something you're not familiar with. If you're new, would be glad to answer some questions Just, you know, give me some feedback in general. And old gods willing, hopefully I can get into the beta and give you guys content. I would like to play some games, just regular 1v1 games, and give commentary on that, as well as the drafting system, which I believe they are calling the Forge, which is a really, really unique, well, not really unique in terms of collectible card games, but unique in the terms of how exactly they're doing it. I'll go into that in a later video, but I'm very excited for that mechanic, and look forward to the Forge, because it's a great way to test your deck building skills, which if you've played collectible card games before, that is, in my opinion, the most fun part, is the deck building. I mean, anyone can go and, you know, get a deck list online and do that, but it's really fun when you were able to tweak your deck yourself and come up with the best strategies. Thank you for watching Hearthstone Power, and come back soon. Time to hearth out.